Cartmel, Hightower, and Eddie Jackson are the officiating crew, and we are underway. Only the fourth time these two teams have met. First time back in 1930, twice in the mid-70s. This one has a lot riding on it. Scott Merritt controls the tip. Into the hands of Travis Diener.
The Pitt Panthers go minute, and look who's on Diener. It's Page.
And look who's on Wade. It's Brown.
And the body got him too. He's physical. He gets into you. And maybe a little nick there on Wade. Possibly should have been shooting too.
There was much speculation that defensively Julius Page would guard Dwayne Wade. Page said so. Ben Hallen told us last night it's going to be Jerron Brown.
Well, he thinks that Diener is so important. He can't let him get off, and that's why Page is on him. Tough perimeter guy, and here he's active without the ball as well.
Back in the hands of Brandon Knight. Right side, Jerron Brown. Here's Donatas Sabatskis, guarded by Merritt. Back outside, Knight. One dribble, up, finger roll, in and out. Foul.
Well, everything, but I don't know which way they're going to go with. I see the pull down. And it may have been, I see the signal for
Todd Townsend.
Oh, I saw Page there too. I just saw the one. I wasn't sure which way that was going. Townsend.
So Brandon Knight will inbound the basketball. Pittsburgh has rolled through its first two opponents in the NCAA. They ousted Wagner in Boston and then completely dominated an Indiana team, winning by 22 in the second round.
And Marquette goes zone on the inbounds pass, gives the open look to Brown. He can make that and also get in the lane.
Todd Townsend clears it for Marquette. Travis Diener in the corner. Townsend for three. Jerron Brown tips it into the hands of Ontario left.
Smart play. Always under control. Knight gets into the lane, makes good decisions here, gets the good look on the jumper.
Dwayne Wade for Marquette off of the Brandon Knight miss.
They want to uptick it.
Dish. No basket, foul called.
You notice Jackson running the floor. They're big. Scott Merritt and Jackson can get up and down the floor. Going to really test Ontario Lett. It's going to be a demand on his body.
Pittsburgh fouls on number 50, Ontario Lett.
First foul for Pittsburgh is on Ontario Lett. There's Robert Jackson, 3 years at Mississippi State. Diener has been sensational in the first two games, but he misses his shot.
And they're going to contest everything he does.
That's kicked out of bounds, a fresh 35 now for Pittsburgh.
Now that angelic look of Travis Diener, though.
Yes.
An altar boy look.
Yes.
It's so refreshing, and yet he's got daggers in his arsenal. I mean, he really comes at you having a great tournament. Sensational. Not only making shots, but getting everybody else involved.
Played for his uncle at Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, 80 miles north of Milwaukee. That ball tipped. Still contested. Up and still not in as Merritt cleans it off. And Pittsburgh unsuccessful on its first 5 shots of the game. Traveling. Out in Anaheim, Duke is getting set to tip off against Kansas. And those of you expecting to see that game, we will get you there for the tip.
You can see how fast Diener brings it up. The ability to maybe take advantage of Pitt before they settle into this tough defense they're known for.
Left side it goes. Here's Jerron Brown. Sabatskis. Oh, entry pass, and there was Dwayne Wade.
Shoot it. What a nice look.
Dish left side. Robert Jackson. Wade. 2 points. Marquette.
And that's what pushing the ball does. Pitt never got assembled, weren't in order, couldn't get good recognition, couldn't match up and tag the correct guy.
2.5 minutes in, we get our first basket of the game. Now Knight. Wade guards him.
By the way, you see Tom Crane, he works harder than we do. He'll be exhausted at the end of the game down on the baseline.
Off the glass, Jerron Brown with the rebound of his own miss, the basket and a free throw.
That's almost like our open. I mean, he's amazing. He didn't make it, but his long arms, his ability to extend over others. I mean, here, this runner is something he consistently makes. This one, he's a little harsh on, gets it in the right hand, but up over a taller and a better rebounder in Scott Merritt, but still able to steal the deal.
Brown completes the three-point play. 17-10 to go first half. Diener right side to Wade. They'll work the perimeter.
You notice Lett there on the cut on Wade. Stood him up.
Now Travis Diener, Julius Page in his face. Brown on Wade. And Ontario Lett works against Jackson. Jackson with a miss. Jerron Brown with another rebound.
I'll tell you what, they are going to pound them. Pittsburgh just gives you a message each trip. They don't play anything easy or soft.
3-2, early going. Pick and roll with Donatas Zavatskis. That's for 3.
I'll tell you what, he is such a confident shooter. Pick and pop. And Knight smoothly, under control, delivers it.
Just inside the arc, so counted as a 2 instead of a 3. A 5-2 game. Merritt, oh, nice. Over Zavatskis, no roll. Zavatskis with a rebound.
That shows you what Merritt can do. Got a lot of things with the dribble.
Here's Brown behind the back. Tied up, held ball, possession arrow is Pittsburgh's.
Well, it's an understated offense that Pitts puts out on the floor. They have a nice feel as they set up the little pick and then the pop out here, and Knight drags the 2, and this is what sets it up. You can see the defense a little hesitant to come out on him. Jackson not comfortable that distance from the goal.
16:06 to go first half. Brandon Knight. Now we're set to go. 29 seconds on the shot clock. Zavatskis off the double screen for 3.
Beauty. That's not good defense. And he just made that. You know, he can get free and unload. And the quizzical look by Tom Crean. Nice double screen to give him the look.
15:53 to go. An 8-2 Pittsburgh lead.
Wade loves to beat you with the dribble. That's why he's got to catch it cleanly.
Here's Wade. Entry pass. Jackson double team from Troutman, who's on the floor, traveling. Time called. We'll be right back. 8-2 Pittsburgh back in Minneapolis, and they have the ball now. Jerron Brown, Brandon Knight in the backcourt. Bill, we talked about defense being one of the strong points of Pittsburgh. Ben Howland looks pretty smart early.
Well, the change, Diener has had 1 shot and no looks outside for Wade, something around the rim. If this is the case, I think they're going to have to use the dribble and also Diener give the ball up and get a series of bumps. He's very effective curling off of screens, and not a good look here by Page on the flare. But the inbounds, Marquette not really ready. This is a team that really prepares. And if you watch Knight come in, he's almost expecting to get the ball back from Zavatskis, but as he walks in, the defense doesn't acknowledge. Normally the inbounder would go the other way. But that's just a lapse defensively. Diener gets a nice curl here. He's got to keep active.
Dish to Merritt, turnaround jumper in the lane, good.
He may be as good as anybody with footsteps in the lane. McCalish, great on the drop step, spins, not with his back low on the box like McHale, but in the area of the lane because he's such a good guy with the bounce.
Boy, that is high praise. Here's Brandon Knight, Zavatskis, Siobhan Troutman, the 6th man, is on for Ontario Lett.
And Troutman, you mentioned that guy trying to load up in the lane, great around the rim, very efficient.
Off the glass high for Julius Page. Troutman before the basket, a foul called. Siobhan Troutman.
They used to say garbage man. I mean, this guy, he's a landfill. I mean, he just takes up so much territory and then just usually unloads and finishes.
Out of Williamsport, here is Steve Novak. What a brilliant performance he had in the overtime win against Missouri. I can just sense Quinn Snyder wincing back in our New York studios right now.
Isn't that the truth?
Novak 3 for 3 from 3-point range, number 20. As this Marquette team had an almost, well, I don't know what could have gone wrong in that overtime. They did everything perfectly.
Well, now what Crean is going to do is force a change defensively. He's got the zone now, but on the other end.
Here's Wade. Taken from behind by Carl Krauser.
Wade never had a handle in the run out. Nice play by Diener. Numbers now if they want.
There's Diener. What's he going to do? He's going to dish it right side, short with the shot, and a battle of Zavatskis, and a foul is called.
That's one of those just play on. Zavatskis didn't walk, didn't fall to the floor. They got Wade with a unfortunate small changer.
And Wade upset with the call.
Sure,
that's his second.
That's what it puts him on the pines. He knows you can't, he's got to get some rest. That look of discontent Easy with the whistle.
And you got a sense then of Donatas Zavotskis and why it is not surprising that he's had a couple of confrontations with teammates.
And occasionally with coaches.
Yes.
He expresses his displeasure.
This is his final season out of Klaipėda, Lithuania. Foul.
I think your man from Lithuania. I think on the post up. He is a piece of work, folks. He has a dialogue once in a while with Ben, and Ben, when he takes him out of the game, tries to look elsewhere. He's a little bit confrontational out of the gate, but he competes. Very talented, and a terrific defender, as you can see here on Merritt.
There's the pass to Jackson, goes to his right. Nice play.
And with him on the floor, Merritt can move out. Jackson, you load up deep out of Mississippi State's. The year off last year had him develop individual talents and skill.
Carl Krauser, the 22-year-old redshirt freshman from New York. In at the point, here's Julius Page, guarded by Novak. Knight, long jumper, cans it.
And when you mention Krauser, that means Knight can use screens and get free for looks like that. Nice weapon they deploy.
Brandon Knight gets the three. It's an 11-6 game as we near the 13-minute mark. Diener, the switch. Troutman now back to Page.
And Knight is on Novak, so that eliminates him from his help defense just somewhat. Here he can't leave Novak. He's looking to help out.
Zavotskis on Jackson. Diener, Page, foul.
And that's what you got to do. Keep active as Page applauds the call. But Jackson, if you let him load up, Merritt's outside, gives the entry pass. You can just hear Troutman at the disadvantage. Little hesitation. You protect with the shoulder, use the left arm. And here Knight comes off a stagger screen, a little nylon from deep. Came out there a little bit late. You also will draw your tool and put it on the floor.
Terry Sanders on the floor now for Scott Merritt for Marquette. And Ontario left on for Zavotskis. And Chapman is also out on the floor. Joe Chapman, the freshman from Sauk Village, Illinois.
Some interesting matchups. Now Krauser's got Novak. He's not a post-up guy, Novak. He's a perimeter shooter.
There's Diener. Whips it left side. Jackson off the rim. Troutman, outlet pass, left. Easy. No numbers, but here he goes. He's a load.
He sure is. He's a ballerina, too. Oh. Who needs Brandon Knight? Give it to me, coach.
Ontario left, 13-6.
There's the guy.
Off the mark. Rebound, left side. Here comes Page. This will be a sky dunk.
He's really letting this down. He's one of the great high flyers, but a little chill early.
I think because he's thinking he's got to get back in Diener's space.
That's a great point. But this team covers. They certainly would have had somebody on Travis Diener. Look at Knight now on Novak.
And watch Page on Diener. Remember the job he did on Tom Coverdale against Indiana last week.
And that time Ontario led tried to gamble on the baseline. He turns a guy on the offensive box into a better player, Jackson. And Coverdale said maybe the best that ever guarded him right after that Indiana game.
Tom Coverdale, the heart and soul of Indiana, limited in his offensive output in that 22-point loss. Here's Krauser. Troutman wanted the over-the-top pass. Krauser. Page. Tried to use the glass. Didn't work. Here comes Diener.
A little 1-2-2 zone effective. They match up out of it. Marquette, that is. And don't leave him alone. And Quinn saying, what happened to Novak? Diener in the studio. They didn't miss any of the overtime.
So Diener misses from three. Krauser has it. 15-8 as we near the midway point of the first half.
Now take a look at this defense right here. Now they're straight up. Now they're in the zone, and they're matching up in the air. It looks like a 1-2-2. Follow and then fall back.
Tom Crean's getting ready to bring Merritt back in along with Bradley, the freshman guard out of Katy, Texas. Here's Page with the pump, the dish. Ontario left. Boy, that was pretty.
Now, first of all, if you get on the high side of Lett, it'll take your roll of quarters to get in front of him. He can hold anybody off, and then the penetration, a nice dish.
Now Tom Crean continues to pace in the sidelines. His team down by 9. There's Joe Chapman, the freshman. Sanders kicks it out to Novak. There it is.
And you can see Knight at a disadvantage. He can plumb bob on his head. And Brandon used to sniffing off the ball, Vern, to help out. And that's a dangerous assignment.
Steve Novak for the season hitting 52% from beyond the arc. He gets that one for 3, and it's a 6-point game. 9:45 to go before the break.
This Pitt team very patient. Nice spin out by Len. How about the quickness of him? I mean, he doesn't look it, but he is agile. He's mobile. He's definitely tough, Vern. The open floor, well, this is not really worthy of a send it in. Clark Kell, I could say flush.
Brandon Knight, there's a trap. 3 on the shot clock, and they were unaware of it. Here's Bradley back. Krauser defending, the dish to Diener, and then Bradley takes the jumper off the front rim. Had 2-on-1 and couldn't convert.
Not a good play, but didn't handle it very well. Should have given it to Diener much earlier. That's the key to playing basketball. Give a guy the ball when he can do some damage, when he's got the right angle. Right there is the pass. Now the spin dribble. He takes his man into the path of the cutter. That's not a heads-up play in a fast break situation.
Well, the foul is on Zavotskis. It's his second, so he sits. Siobhan Troutman is back on the floor and gets a takeaway. Now Brandon Knight and Krauser, the 2 guards. Jerron Brown, there's a nice pass. No foul called. Sanders clears it. Here comes Diener. Diener kicks it left side. Almost lost it and gets it back.
Pretty good save by Novak. Look at the double here by Brown. And then the slide down by Krause. That's great team defense.
Yes, it was. This is a Pittsburgh team that is holding opponents to less than 60 points per game. And now here's the Singular Wireless fan poll through the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. Which game had the most dramatic finish? Here are your selections. Notre Dame, Mississippi State, Gonzaga, Arizona, NC State, California, or Wilmington, Maryland. Singular Wireless users send vote to 171 or log on to cbssportsline.com/singular. And stay tuned for the results during Singular at the half.
Gambling now with Wade on the floor with the 2 personal fouls. Top of the zone here, the side, I should say.
And Travis Diener getting a rest. Todd Townsend also back on the floor. Jerron Brown, there he comes to help defense. Krauser. Oh, wow, Wade flew at it.
Look at Troutman hold off.
There's the stuff you're talking about. Landfill.
Municipal sanitary landfill.
Well, you get an idea why he's hitting 71% from the field this year.
He does get high percentage shots.
You bet.
But he also uses that big, strong body to present himself close to the tip.
Now Wade. Jerron Brown has guarded him when he's been on the floor. And a free throw.
He merited that kiss. Little bounce, the big fella, 6'10", getting better and better. Off-season work, preseason individual drills. His skill level, I think, is extraordinary. Here he is able to gather himself and use that window with such an affectionate mannerism.
Oh my goodness. And away we go.
Well, you know, I love to see the UCLA teams and John Wooden use the glass.
Right.
It's just magnificent. It's your best friend, Red Auerbach used to call it. It's there, you get an angle, take advantage of it.
Ontario Left picks up his second foul. Scott Merritt with a free throw. And Torrey Morris, a huge tree, makes his first appearance for Pittsburgh in this ball game. Morris, number 55, 6'10", 282. 19-14, under 8 to go first half. And Tom Crean screaming at his team.
And the zone has been a factor now. They've got some slap-aways, some misses by the big guys for Pitt. They're trying to run some of their back screen situation. Here's a pick on the high 5. Morris slides to the rim.
Brown casts a glance at the shot clock, kicks it outside to Julius Page. Siobhan Troutman, 4 on the shot clock. Here's Krauser, has to hurry, runner in the lane, no. And Wade clears it.
Great defensive trip. Townsend in the open floor.
Troutman defending. Wade. There's Krauser on him. Woo. And he misses, but the tip is good.
How pretty was that? Everything but soft enough for Jackson to finish it off. Oh my goodness. Everybody in awe on that particular dribble move.
Ben Howland's going to send Brandon Knight back in the ball game. Jackson has 6. The margin is 3.
The zone's got them off their game somewhat. Normally they're totally under control in their man-to-man. Here they got to find holes. Nice pass, and look at this. The gamble by Jackson. Send it in. Torrey Morris.
And Torrey Morris ends this Marquette run. 5-point game. Wade picked up by Jerron Brown. Now Scott Merritt, Troutman. Bradley, freshman guard. guarded by Carl Krause. There's the jumper from Bradley, off the mark badly.
Good hustle play to run it down and get a new fresh shot clock. It's not moving though. I'm looking up at the
shot clock is not working.
It's still staying at 35.
Yep. Now I know, boy. About 4 seconds went by at least. Now it's running. Here's Bradley. That one perfect.
How about the confidence, not only in the pass, but Bradley after the errant toss earlier.
Only 7 of 19. That's only the 20th three-point shot he's taken in 30 games. And it is a 2-point game, 21-19.
And they're switching automatically, really confusing Pitt.
That one, long rebound, tipped out by Morris, saved by Bradley. He dishes to Wade in the corner. Townsend.
What a great field by Wade. And right now, Ben Hallam wants the timeout, but the zone defense, Tom Crean, making sure he wasn't happy with the man-to-man earlier. This time getting steals and opportunities. Get the Buffy set. Wade will find you. Little nylon by Townsend.
1 point Marquette lead. They have grabbed their second lead of the ball game. They had a brief 2-0 margin. Field goals, both teams 9 of 21. Crowd of 28,000 here at the Metrodome. And Marquette's big guys have been effective here in the last 5 minutes.
And for that last trip for the open jumper for Townsend, Torrey Morris went to the rim. He was the guy that should have covered the corner. Page got there late. Corner jump shots, ineffective use of their offense. Let's see what Pitt comes out with. They've got to get a new wrinkle against this matchup zone, which has been extremely effective for Tom Crean.
Now Brandon Knight, Jerron Brown, Julius Page, Zavatskis, and Siobhan Troutman on the floor for Pittsburgh. Bradley stays at the point, and now he's out in the zone. Back Page and Zavatskis.
They've not been able to get the ball to the foul line. And they got the nickel dimer or a walk.
It was a walk. 5:16 to go, time call. Marquette leads at 22-21, and they have gotten this lead without Travis Diener. He has been on the bench for almost 6 minutes now. Look at these numbers in the first 2 games, 29 and 26. 0 for 2 tonight.
Now, you know what's very helpful? Bradley came in and he's run the show, done a nice job defensively. Gives him a little rest. The other thing is that we noted Page is such an extraordinary defender. You can't shake him. So we have some nights like this, but as long as you get others involved, Wade now with the double screen high.
Wade looks inside. Here's Todd Townsend, guarded by Zavatskis. Bradley, Novak back on the floor. And it's Page on Novak. Oh, Brandon Knight got caught looking.
He's always looking to help off the ball. He can do that with Bradley now. He reads things, tries to assist on dribble drives. Oh, what a spin.
But the shot a little too strong, and Brown, having gotten beaten, gets the rebound.
That's twice he's been in there, unable to convert.
And a half to go, first half of play. Troutman fouled by Jackson.
The quick feet of Lent and Troutman. I mean, that was a play where Jackson was over there in time, exploding in small spaces too.
Now Travis Diener, almost 6.5 minutes, and he's back on now for Dwayne Wade,
who hasn't been able to get off either. Outstanding defense. You would assume if you're Pitt, if you can stop those two, but others contributing, and particularly the defense for Tom.
4:24 remaining in this one, in the first half.
And you think low numbers would fade. Now they get a little matchup problem here.
Brown back to Brandon Knight. Penetration in the lane, underneath Troutman. Beauty.
Oh, just loads it up.
Nice interior pass, too.
Sure, well, Knight's one of those guys, he can create offense with his dribble drive.
Hit back on top with 4 to go in the first half of play. Diener. Heck of a screen by Novak, and Novak, after the high pick and roll, misfires on the shot.
Well, what a nice guy to pick and pop with Diener and Novak. Well conceived play.
Brown, no. Troutman.
Oh, no, it's after the play. They're going to give it to Novak. Troutman's going to get to the line. That's one of the, I thought he got the ball clean, and then when Troutman hit the deck, it gets the attention of the officials.
And the freshman from Brown Deer, Wisconsin, called for the foul. Scott Merritt back on the floor for the Golden Eagles.
I guess his brother's a pretty good player up there, too, playing for his dad at Brown Deer. You've been out here for some golf, too. You know this part of the world.
Oh, yeah.
PGA, I think.
We were in Minneapolis for the PGA at Chaska last summer. And here's Siobhan Troutman at the free throw line. I'm back home, then.
Well, you must have spent all your money that trip.
Oh, come on.
You know, the hardest thing is we look at Ben over there. When you see a defense that's throwing your team off, what do we have that we can run to be effective? And I think that's what's great about a staff, or in turn, you know, who should we get involved a little bit more, or what area is open? And that dribble drive by Knight was something they hadn't been able to do. Now they got to come up with some more wrinkles, Vern. His zone defense by Marquette has been tough.
Pittsburgh up by 3 with 3:46 to go in the half. Let's take a look at the Pontiac high performance of the day. It occurred in the first game in Minneapolis. Marquise Estel, a career high of 28 points as Kentucky held on for a 63-57 win over Wisconsin. Tom Crean. Look at Wade and Diener.
And they're still there. I mean, they're down by 3, but those guys have to play within themselves here. They go an ISO for Diener for an open look, and how about that? That doesn't happen too often. One-on-one, Jay Page unable to convert.
And the margin again 1 with 3.5 to go. Brandon Knight will walk it up. Pittsburgh, 11 victories in a row.
Excuse me, I think there's a box of 1 on Page right now.
There's Knight, Diener from behind, in and out. Troutman tips it, and Robert Jackson gets it for Marquette. Here's Diener. Right side. Left side. Novak. Oh, wow.
How about that? They ran a little bump for Diener. They do a great job of screening for their shooters as they're going back on the offensive end. That time a nice find by Diener to Novak.
And Marquette grabs a 2-point edge. Jerron Brown. Diener goes for the steal from behind. Here's Page spotting up for the 3.
You know, it's interesting. He went for the steal, and they didn't cover the wing. He was pointing over there, so it threw them off their exchange. They didn't get over and balance that side of the floor.
Well, the 2 seed against the 3 seed. This one has lived up to expectations. A 1-point game with 2.5 to go before the break.
Tough
Jackson,
pass.
too much. Yep. And Torrey Morris gets it for Pittsburgh. Now Brandon Knight.
Pretty. How about that? Pretty and clever. The dive from the top. Now that's a position they hadn't had anybody. On the foul line, nice turn and sprint to the 10, and Knight acknowledges.
Brandon Knight's brother, Brevin Knight, Brandon told us yesterday his brother is here tonight. Plays now for the Memphis Grizzlies. And if he gets 7 assists tonight, he will break the mark held at Stanford by his brother of 780 career assists. He got 4.
Isn't that incredible? 2 talented guys know how to run teams and lead programs.
And he was very aware of how many assists he needed to get beyond his brother.
How about this? Bradley on the dish by Diener. You pay a lot of attention. This perimeter game starting to heat up.
Way up there. And we're tied at 30 with 90 seconds to go.
Here's the box of 1. It's on Page now. They're exchanging people.
Now Bradley's on Page right now.
It's a straight man now. Nice screen.
Good job by Novak.
That's a great play. Back screen, and then Brown gets to the box. That's the first man-to-man trip, and it was ineffective defensively for Marquette in quite a while.
Now Knight on Bradley. Screen from Novak and Travis Diener. Takes the jumper over Page. Off the mark.
Big time rebound.
Merritt foul.
Wow. Just a wonderful feel on a back screen. Sets the whole deal up. Brown gets the back screen at the foul line. Now the spin out. Novak on his shoulder. The ability to finish those extra inches in his wingspan. Extraordinary.
Scott Merritt back at the free throw line.
Scott Merritt is shooting 2.
Has a couple. One more for the tie. Trey Schwab, assistant to Tom Crean. Leslie told you at the beginning of the game he awaits a lung transplant, incurable lung disease. Trey said yesterday, though, that he has moved to the top of the transplant list, so he has the phone on vibrate in case he gets the call during the game.
Had a chance to spend some time with him a couple of months ago. An extraordinary guy, attitude, just an amazing appreciation of life and what he's been able to do. And this keeps him busy. He loves being involved. Scouted for the pros for a while with the Timberwolves, and Tom says he's just extraordinary, his contributions in video and scouting and preparation.
Tie game. 45 seconds to go before halftime. Knight guarded by Diener in the lane. Merritt helps. Brandon Knight for three. Off the mark. The tip, no good. And Troutman cannot control it. So a chance for Marquette to take the halftime lead. They'll play for one. The shot clock is off. Diener and Wade have been held in check, but the big guys from Marquette have helped give them a tie game at this point.
No timeout now.
Tom Crean wants to talk things over. Time called. Tied at 32 with 16.5 remaining. Tom Crean just celebrated his 37th birthday on Tuesday. I think he's going to age another 6 years before this one is over.
The job he's done with this program, all the Jesuits are praying for him. I mean, they give him the collection. And right now, with Diener Wade out, it's important that Diener, nice hands. Look at this team. They never give up. Knight with
tip from Page. Here's Knight. Oh, boy, he almost missed it.
And yesterday he was working on his elevation. 9 seconds.
One dunk in his life. That's when he was 16 years old.
Pretty.
There we are, the tie.
They don't pack it, do they? That was interesting. Diener prevented the ball from being thrown to the inbounds passer to let the clock run out.
Well, how do you do? We're at the half, and we're tied 34-all.
Well, like all of us in life, we like to make ourselves bigger, and Brandon Knight did with the hands up, and this is one. It's good, but not as pretty as he would like.
Here's Leslie Visser.
Well, it doesn't surprise you. I mean, they're struggling. That surprises you. But you know that Pittsburgh is going to come at you with all players contributing. They have a great understanding, this distribution of wealth. My goodness, able to get everybody on the board. It is just solid basketball. And right now, what does Pitt do? What adjustment against that zone if Marquette comes back with it?
Now Julius Page picks up Travis Diener as we get underway in the second 20 minutes. And it's going to be Jerron Brown on Wade. Wade, the junior, kicks it back to Diener. And Lett plays against Robert Jackson. Here comes the help from Zavatskis. Diener with the dish. Todd Townsend underneath. Scott Merritt too far underneath. Jackson and a foul call.
But that's really prime with the basketball. Now they made a lot of good looks. A great amount of counters by Pittsburgh's defense. And the one interesting dilemma I think that Pitt gives people is Brandon Knight over in the lane, looking to get in passing lanes and cause some problems.
Robert Jackson at the free throw line to give Marquette its third lead of the ball game. They have it. They led 2-0 and 27-25. And Jackson shoots another.
They got to counter with power too, I think. You can't just settle against Pittsburgh. Got to get these big people moving, get them in some foul problems as well.
Marquette by 2. Jackson has 10.
And they bang the floor at the other end, a la Duke. I think Tommy Emminger may have started that years ago.
Page and Brown.
Straight up man. Never in a hurry.
Brandon Knight waves Julius Page to come back outside. 19:13 to go. Knight got it. Brandon Knight cans a three and puts Pittsburgh back on top. We were tied 34-all at the half. Here's Lett with a rebound. The quick hands of Wade get it back. Merritt and Page guards him. Rejected by Lett, out of bounds.
The long arm of the law. What a response. He's got the quickest feet for a guy his size imaginable. Extraordinary. A great find to Merritt. And the blow-by Diener, he was wide open. I think it shocked him on the release.
Now they look for Merritt and get it in his hands. 1-point game, tied at 34 at the half. Jackson goes back to the free throw line.
Might be Lett. Tried to get away from his guy, make sure he didn't get involved.
It is Lett. That's 3.
That's a major concern. And Ben Hallen, a big decision right now.
Robert Jackson at the free throw line. one more.
I was just talking to Troutman there at half court as to what he wanted. He takes Lett out. They have a nice rotation with Morris being another major big body that he can utilize up front.
So Ontario Lett has to sit for a moment with his third foul, and Robert Jackson, 3 years at Mississippi State, transferred back. He's from Milwaukee, sat out last year, and gets 1 of 2 this trip, and we are tied again.
I think Tom felt comfortable because he was a kid from the Milwaukee area. Tom Crean, when you bring a transfer, you got to know a little bit about him, about the people around him, what he wants out of the program.
Zavatskis, Knight for his second 3 of the half, not there. Rebound Townsend from Marquette, and here comes Travis Diener.
A nice pinch job.
Townsend, Knight on Wade for the moment.
Can elevate now.
Nice pass. Oh, boy, was that good.
And he had the angle because Brandon Knight took the high side. Nice analysis.
Marquette on top by 2 as we have played 2 minutes in the second half. Jackson with 13 points. Zavatskis. Diener fronts Brown. Now they get it in his hands.
This is his advantage out here, Diener, but down on the bottom. Now, Brown can manufacture a post-up right here, and he does.
Tries to get in for the rebound, can't get there. Wade, Diener.
Boy, do they use the floor.
Into the hands of Townsend. Now Wade guarded by Brown. Tom Crean talking to him.
Pretty look.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they on fire. The pace to their favor. The push, the defense recognizes, they draw them and then dish it.
Largest Marquette lead of the ball game. Up by 4. Jackson has all 7 points in this half. Merritt right in the face of Zavatskis.
And he was throwing those elbows too. Got to be careful.
Goes right. Merritt back with him. Double team. Can't find anybody.
And a good play, actually. He goes off the leg. But the interior passing, extraordinary. Anytime you can get people to spin their heads. Here, you see Brandon Knight took the high side, opened it up, and Jackson gets himself in position to dominate. But once again, 2 people on 1, the counter, and Jackson having a ball underneath the rim.
6 seconds in the shot clock. Brown will inbound it to Knight. Here's Knight, gets a screen from Troutman. Has to adjust in the air. Shot clock violation.
And I'll tell you, they really strung him out. That time, Knight may have gotten away with a push on the discard, but all of a sudden, tempo favoring Marquette. Aggressive play favoring Marquette. Pitt's got to reach back now, get a stop on this end, and get a counter.
Golden Eagles, 25-5 for the season. Seeded number 3. Got here by virtue of an overtime victory against Missouri. They also had a struggle in the first round game, a 4-point victory over Ralph Willard and Holy Cross. Ralph Willard, one of Tom Crean's good friends.
Got him in the business of the Seds. He's at Western and Pittsburgh.
Wade. 6-point margin.
Pitt's been in tough situations. No timeout. The experienced team, they run a side pick and roll. Look at this dribble. How pretty is that?
And the dish, and Page goes to the line.
And Knight pumped up as he should be. Well, you have to have great ball control to get between the defense. And the understanding, here's the little fadeaway by Wade, and then the counter at the other end. Right here, behind your back, in traffic, in a trap. The deft delivery and a chance for 3 as Page looming around the rim is dangerous for anybody.
And it might be an appropriate time to talk about free throws. Marquette, as a team, hits 78% for the season. Pittsburgh, an Achilles heel, they hit 64% as a team. They get this one, but down the stretch, could this be the game where free throw deficiency catches up with Pittsburgh?
I'll tell you, they've always been able to dodge it, to come up with a big play here and there, but it is a dilemma. Particularly 2 even teams, and you've got to have your point guard handling the basketball. See how Knight handles it late.
Well, they are perfect at the line tonight in 4 opportunities, and Brandon Knight picks up the foul. That's his first.
It shows some self-control, though. he didn't like the call 3 years ago.
Right.
He would have been woofing a little bit. That's what's come along, the respect between Ben Howland and his point guard. He's grown up.
There's Brandon Knight. Wade.
He's loose. He's out. Who let him out? Tough matchup with Knight. They may have to readjust their thinking in the timeout as to matchups. Talented guy who can elevate. Wade.
Television timeout coming at the next dead ball. Here's Krauser. Oh, got the roll. My goodness.
And everybody was lifted, and you've got to push the guy to the middle. You can't let him beat your baseline. There's nobody to help.
Krauser, Knight, Troutman, Lett back on the floor playing with three. There's Diener. Wade. He's feeling it, isn't he?
He is. He's out. He's loose. He's confident. You got to close the door on him somehow. His jump shot, when it is on, he is a tough out.
1 of 5 in the first half. Perfect 3 of 3 in this.
He's one of those guys you may have to run a double on the perimeter just to get him to give it up when he is loose like he is right now.
Brandon Knight guarded by Wade. Kicked. Taken away. Pretty tipped by Diener. Play on.
A nice play by Ed Hightower, too. And that was not a kick. It was thrown into the leg. They're complaining as to a kick. It was a fair play, but the toughness of Diener to slap away a goal. Well, Vern Lundquist, when the star gets out, there's no confidence problem. Right here, Knight is on him. He's able to deliver. Ben Howland counters with one of the premier defenders. Top of the key, Julius Page here. Get the puppy set really squared up and knocks that one down. And then the pressure here. This is not a kick as deemed by the officials because it's thrown into the foot, not an intentional kick. And here Wade, he thought he might palm it, gets rid of the basketball, and out ahead of the pack is a solid performer who just played within himself. Had a couple of fouls early, 2 in the first, 8 in the second. School's out unless they get some control of Dwayne Wade.
Our biggest test of the tournament now for the Panthers of Pitt. They've won 11 in a row. They rolled over Wagner and they rolled over Indiana. And they find themselves now down by 7.
And Tom Crean, that is, goes right to the zone that gave Pitt problems early. Nice pump fake and an open jumper by Page and gets the little nick late. Count the goal, Vern.
And Julius Page back at the free throw line for a chance to make this a 3-point possession.
Pitt is comfortable in close encounters. And they have been through some tough situations, so their experience sticks with them in these kind of decision-making moments.
Did not get it. And it's chased down in the corner. This will be Pittsburgh ball. Time called. Troutman gets the inbound pass from Brandon Knight. Now Knight has it back in his hands. 14:30 to go. And Pitt down by 5.
Once again, the matchup, they drove on it and they popped to the foul line on occasion as Troutman is here and turn and look.
And the entry pass to Ontario Lett. The double team comes triple, really. And it's rejected by Townsend.
I think Jackson may have been over there too, Vern.
Did he?
Great collective defense.
At the point of release, there were 3 men surrounding him. Now here's Wade up and under. Off the glass.
Wow. What execution. Locking the pivot foot. Pick up the lingerie. What a step through.
Dwayne Wade has had a torrid second half. He scored the last 10 points. And Jerron Brown is going to go to the free throw line.
Well, Vern, you had mentioned everybody at the point of attack, all helping out. Murd on the one side and right in the back. And you were right. His ability Townsend to assist, but this is just gorgeous. You can see everybody locked in place because he thought the containment was there. Nobody came over and helped out. Lett stayed on his guy. Nice step through by Wade.
Brown at the line. 4 of 6 at the free throw line now for Pittsburgh. Novak back on the floor, the 3-point specialist, and one of the heroes of the win over Missouri. Townsend will get a rest. But this half belongs to Dwayne Wade so far.
Just opened his game up. Free flowing, coming a lot easier. And Brown, one of those 68% free throw shooters, so him getting to the line is certainly a help.
Well, Pittsburgh unable to stop Marquette on the last 8 trips down with the basketball. Here's Travis Dean guarded by Page. And Brown back on the floor, and that's tipped out of bounds.
Tough look, a little too deep. Gave up on the dribble, didn't space, get a good angle. Even the great ones make some mistakes.
Zavatskas back on the floor, and Ontario Lett will get a rest.
I think a rest to make sure he doesn't get the fouls. I'm looking at Tom Crean over there. Even if you take pictures of presidents now and then 10 years later,
right?
Kind of a thing, or 8 years later.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Tom. He looks great now, but this business, you may end up with gray hair and a paunch. But you might be going to the Stonehouse too. $50 save.
There's Page, pump fake, entry pass. Troutman with a dish, too hard.
Too hard, and he may have had the angle to finish himself, but that's the unselfish play. Just very tough to squeeze at that distance.
Ben Howland in his 4th year. And showing some wear and tear from this game, don't you think?
Well, you can become disheveled in the Sweet 16.
Yes. Pittsburgh's 2nd consecutive. They lost in this round last year in overtime to Kent State.
And the run out, they got Brown ahead.
There's Brown off the glass, and he got it. Page had to hold his hands back.
Just so he would, yeah, exactly. He couldn't go, but Knight giving him plenty of room to run under it and finish it.
Now Diener guarded by Page. Novak. Got it!
Perkin off the Pines. And that's that matchup dilemma when they bring Novak in. They don't have Brown or Page on him. It's a difficult match for anybody else, size-wise.
Unconscious.
He's been doing it consistently lately.
Page trying to answer, in and out. Troutman back to Knight.
Just rushed it a little bit. Nice look, though, by Troutman.
Now Diener. Page gets back. Marquette up by 7 as we near the 12-minute mark. Off the glass, too strong. Follow Novak. Too strong. Zavatskas. A little wild,
I'll say.
Here's Knight. 2, Pittsburgh.
A nice play, too. Eddie Hightower saying it was too late, too far under. And what confidence that Knight has on that blow by into the lane. Zavatskas cleared out the photographers in the first row.
Oh, I caught some of the wind from the flying elbows. Misplaced the few strands of hair I have remaining.
I noticed. Knight now on Novak. He got an offensive rebound. He got open looks because he can elevate over Brandon Knight. That's the nightmare matchup, I think, right now.
You got a 6'10" on a 6-footer.
Novak's got to be careful. He's using his hands. He's not able to get a push off. Knight's so intelligent defensively.
There it is again. There's the dish. Merritt.
The power drive pushes everybody to the baseline by Diener. How about his game, Vern? Forget the points. It's running the show. The composure to get everybody involved.
Under 11 to go. 7-point Marquette. Page for 3. No. Merritt. And Diener again. Zavatskas over the back. At the other end, here's Wade. Dish. Foul.
Vern, what a catch by Wade, huh? In the open floor. And then a lot of guys would have done something silly. Maybe try and do a Dr. J, but Diener finding the fast-footed Wade. And here the play on, giving it up nice and early. Now right here, a lot of people would have done that swoop that Dr. J does. He saw Page. He finds one of the big guys. They're out running. We said that in the first half. The big people are not responding and getting him back.
Scott Merritt. One more. Ontario Lett, Carl Krauser on, replacing Brandon Knight and Siobhan Troutman.
Now Ben's team right now are taking quicker shots. You know, they usually pry a little bit, make you work, and if they end up with a shot like that late, that's fine. But you know, right now, the energy that Marquette is putting out there hasn't been matched, and that's got them in a little bit of a dilemma at the pit end.
Rebound, Jerron Brown. And the lead is at 8. We are nearing the midway point of the second half. Regional semifinal. Marquette in the round of 16 for the first time since 1994. There's Lett underneath. Up. No.
They are really executing that particular dump down. in an extraordinary fashion. They lift everybody, and then Page makes a wonderful entry and let a great presence to control himself, don't go up prematurely, and then release it. Here's the lob to the baseline. Watch all the traffic, Vern, come by him. See that? A lot of guys would have been disconcerted. Unfortunately, couldn't finish at the end, but just a solid play.
Ontario led another of those who struggles at the free throw line. That one looked pure. But for the season, 58%. Terry Sanders back on for the Golden Eagles now. Scott Merritt will get a rest, and Ontario Lett shoots one more. Got a boat. Well, Donatas Zavatskis with the flying elbows on this rebound.
You said it messed your hair? That's stretching it. Wear a hat the next time, Vern.
Back in the Metrodome, well, Al McGuire would be very impressed with his former team, trying to get back to the regional final for the first time in 25 years. The team wears the name Al stitched on their uniform in memory of Al, and it is so wonderful what Tom Crean said, that he learned from Al McGuire, and we know, Vern, our buddy Rick Majera said nobody used the clock of life better than Al McGuire.
Oh my, do I agree. Marquette, where the legendary Al McGuire coached them to a national championship in 1977, has a 6-point lead over Pittsburgh. Dwayne Wade got on fire here in the early moments of the second half with 10 straight points for Marquette. That helped them break a 34-all halftime tie.
And Al might say, if he were coaching, let's ride him, ride the big fella. He and Tom developed a great relationship prior to his death. One of the sweethearts, and of course our colleague with CBS as well.
Here's Travis Diener on the baseline, back outside to Novak. It's Diener, Novak, Sanders. Here's Dwayne Wade, guarded by Page. Now the switch. Oh, what a screen. What a screen.
Look at this.
And the basket. Oh, wow.
And he points to his pals in the stands. I mean, this is just an amazing use of the dribble. They automatic switch on the perimeter. This deft ability. Now here's the switch to Brown. Now watch this one, Bert. In between the show guy, the slide by, the pull down, the strength to get it up there, and the joy and satisfaction of what a job well done. And this is utterly incredible. That'll get me off the deck quickly. Do a couple of push-ups and run some wind sprints after that.
There are some maneuvers for which there is no defense.
Oh, there isn't, and that's one. And it's Pitt's fault for letting him get in the game. He was struggling, he got loose, and they feed off of him, this Marquette team. They got to close him down and get some tough points themselves, mainly in the box area, I think.
Dwayne Wade has 13 in this half. Brandon Knight is fouled and will go to the free throw line. And the foul is called on Novak.
And that's one of the reasons Knight's a winner. They're going to say non-shooting. He just took it upon himself to get in the lane as Novak stepped in.
So Brandon Knight will not go to the line. Foul is on Novak. 9-point lead, 9:42 to go. 15th foul. Here's Krauser having trouble getting it in bounds. He does in the hands of Brandon Knight.
And this confusing defense continues to be successful. A lot of pointing, reassigning people, staying at home on occasion, following them through on occasion.
Lett wants it. Novak on Lett. Skip pass. Krauser saves it. Look at Diener posting him up, or chesting him up, rather. And a foul is going to be called.
On the pass, that's the 6th foul, as you mentioned. And that's the one area that's been successful, is the dribble drive for both Knight and this time Krauser. They've been ineffective in their motion, in guys cutting. And right here, Novak, I like the non-call. They just keep playing.
60-51, 9:20 to go.
Nice
pass. Oh, beauty. Troutman, unselfish, and a foul, and Jerron Brown goes to the line. That's a perfect example of Pitt and the way they play with each other.
And a perfect example of interior passing. You're right. Unselfish play. First the little baseline, the cut sets it up, and now you get yourself in position. You can see Novak is late. His rotation should have been a sprint to the box. He should have been right down in this area. Gets there late and gets the scrape as well. That's a big boost to Pitt right now.
And that is the 4th foul on Steve Novak, who is having a small chat with Tom Crean. Jerron Brown at the free throw line. thus far, free throws not harmful.
It's mostly stretch, I think, don't you?
Yes.
Those last 5 minutes, what you do. Nice double here, a little wrinkle.
There's Wade. Pump, let. That's 4 on let.
Boy, does he get you up to dry, though, huh? Hang out there. The pump fake. And when you have a body like that, and I know you can relate, once somebody gets you airborne, the control, no offense, Nancy. Oh, goodness. He's trying to do the right thing, but just his upper body took him right into the shooter.
Ontario Let stays on the floor. 60-54, 9:03 to go. Let muscling Sanders.
Got to get it in.
They got it to Diener. Timeout. He jumps in the air and says, we got to stop the clock. 9:02 to go. 6-point game. 6-point game, 9:02 to go. Dwayne Wade, Jerron Brown. Now Diener. Goes left, spin move, off the glass. Jerron Brown right there.
Good solid play, and then Knight thought it was off Marquette, so he let it go. In a sense, maybe trying to dupe the officials into buying it.
8:48 to go. Travis Diener right side. Here's Wade. Marquette leading by 6. It was a tie game at the half. Dwayne Wade, 13 second half points. Here's Travis Diener, held in check for the most part, but not now.
I'll tell you, this is one of the toughest guys. Makes big time plays. He's got one of the premier defenders on the page. Fakes as though he's going to use the pick and roll. Beats him baseline, then fades away and converts.
Marquette, a first-round loser in this NCAA tournament to Tulsa a year ago. They trailed by as many as 8 in this ball game in the first half. Here's Page underneath. Let misses. Troutman tries to save it. Look at this. Oh, what hustle. Not there. Diener. No. And a double foul. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, exactly. You've got it. And we go to the possession arrow, too.
And the possession arrow points in the direction of Pittsburgh. Terry Sanders picked up 1, and Brandon Knight the other. That's 3 fouls on Brandon Knight, and the first foul on Terry Sanders.
They don't go to the possession arrow. Give control.
Time called, 7:48 to go in this one. Ben Howland and one of his starters, Donatas Zavackas, had a little conversation. Zavackas left the bench. He's sitting on the floor now. He took his shoes off for a moment. Reminded me of some of the scenes of Dennis Rodman years ago. But Zavackas and Barry Rorson, one of the assistants during the timeout, was down having a pretty intense conversation with Donatas Zavackas. That is Barry Rorson.
Well, if that's the fact, that's not healthy. I mean, we got everybody pulling together. Incidentally, they said the double foul was before the shot, and therefore they keep controlling the ball. How about the screen to get Murray and Diener on the money?
10-point lead, Marquette. Merritt has 12. 7:30 to go. A 10-point lead for Marquette over Pittsburgh with 7:20 remaining. Julius Page off the glass for 2.
And Troutman had locked his guy low, permitting Page to get to the rim.
Page has 12. An 8-point game. Here's Travis Diener guarded by Brandon Knight.
And they've done a great job running their offense. Merritt was loaded up. They didn't go to him. A lot of options right now.
Brown. There's a muscle, a block from Brown, and Krauser takes it away for Pitt. He's got Troutman left side. Krauser will take it all the way and gets the 2.
I'll tell you, pretty good read, Vern. If he didn't hit him at the correct time, it could have been a turnover. A nice blow by. And they're going small with Knight and Krauser.
Now Diener, Bradley's on. Krauser, they got him. And let's check in with Leslie Visser.
Vern, we know that Zavatkis has always been an emotional player. He did not join the team huddles the last 4 times. I asked Dr. Craig Bennett, the team doctor, is there anything wrong with him? He said, you'll have to ask Ben Howland. I think it speaks for itself, Vern.
I agree, Leslie.
We have said the few times we've done the games that they've always had a couple of words here and there, and it's unfortunate that would have to crop up at such a crucial time, at such an important time too, where you need everybody on board with a team like Marquette playing terrific basketball. You just need every emotional edge you can have.
Scott Merritt shoots one more. Boy, there are some glum looks on that Pittsburgh bench.
I think they're a little bit, not in shock, but they have not been able to get through that matchup zone. I mean, nothing's come easy for them on that end, other than occasional drive-by by the wing people.
6:25 to go, 65-58. Krauser and Knight and Page and Troutman and Jerron Brown on the floor.
And right now it looks like straight up man-to-man.
Krauser with the cut. Travis Diener guards him. Up, under, no, short. Off Krauser, out of bounds. Marquette ball.
What a job with the dribble. Everything but as Carl Krauser got to the rim.
6:07 to go. In the second half, 12 made field goals and only 1 turnover for Marquette. The numbers are 9 and 4 for Pittsburgh.
Well, Tom does a nice job. He gave Wade an opportunity on the wing. This time he beats his guy to the goal. How about that one? Size, strength, flexibility. Oh, is that impressive. Little talent to boot with the bounce.
Wade has 17, 15 in this half. And in contrast to the Pittsburgh bench, the Marquette bench is totally energized.
Now, don't forget the influence of Wisconsin followers as well. But Wade, they had him on the wing, this time with the bounce. One of the premier defenders, Knight, unable to get to position to contain the powerful drive by Wade.
5.5 remaining. Jerron Brown, who will graduate this spring and thus earn an extra year. You see the emotion of Torrey Morris on the bench. Here's Brown with the first free throw. Mark McCarroll can't watch.
Well, you've seen Pitt a number of times. They've always been in control of a game. And pressing is something that they haven't had to do a whole lot of. At some point, they're going to have to come after this Marquette team. And that's when you're in danger because they spot up, shoot, and they got the ability to drive by as well.
5:20 to go, 67-59. Marquette, 4th-year coach Tom Crean.
It is a little stagger on the other side for Diener if they wait for him. And look at this, Brown on the pass. He does really get you up in the air. So to do it to let a quicker, more nimble Brown that time. Gets airborne.
Jerron Brown is going to head to the bench from Lexington, Kentucky. Originally wanted to go to Kentucky, then Rick Pitino left. He wound up in Maine Central Institute. Came to Pittsburgh with Ralph Willard. What a great success story. And had dreams of playing Kentucky in the regional final Saturday afternoon. Well, they're down by 9 right now with 5:12 to go.
An efficient Marquette team has gotten them down too. They've gotten an awakened talent in Dwayne Wade, who's just decimated him either with the jumper or the dribble. And now getting back in it.
What a job by Diener to get back.
Sure was. Control him, force him to the middle.
And Krauser out. 5 minutes to go.
Now they need quick hitters now. They don't need to delay a game. And once again, the power gets you in trouble.
Here comes Wade. Watch out.
Emphatically. All because of the misuse of the bounce. And right now, it's not Wisconsin, it's not Milwaukee, but it feels like it. Oh, Bird, this is impressive. It's the D, it's the spirit, it's the emotion. Send it in.
Marquette in its first Sweet 16 since 1994. Pittsburgh in its second straight Sweet 16. They got knocked out by Kent State in this round a year ago. Kentucky goes into the Elite Eight. They scrapped and won a hard-fought victory over Wisconsin earlier here tonight. You know, one of the great players in Marquette history is Doc Rivers, who's a good friend of mine, now the coach at Orlando. And I talked with Doc this afternoon. They played the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. I bet he got home in time to watch the end of this. He is a huge fan of Tom Crean.
And rightfully so. Of course, another great player, George Thompson, does the radio, and they are ecstatic as well with the job Tom Crean. Knight takes over, gets down the lane, gets a deuce, a quick hitter. Now they got to get ready to get something off the defense.
That cuts an 11-point lead to 9, 4:24 to go.
And right now, can you get something off this press is the key, or you're going to give something up easy.
Brown on Wade. Wade with a brilliant second half.
You know, you got two stars on the sideline and some great players on the floor. The difficulty is, I think, with Zavatka's situation, you take a little emotion out of your team. It's a different flavor. Marquette, as you mentioned, energized and really playing solid.
Wade over Brown, not there. But Jackson is, and a foul is called.
Quick, nimble.
And look at the emotion of Tom Crean. And then I look down at the Pittsburgh bench and I see Donatas Zavatskas still sitting on the floor away from the rest of the team. He is not in his seat.
They see it slipping away. And of course, a situation where stubbornness doesn't help you. You've got to stay within the framework of team. But this Marquette team, a lot of the reasons for the confrontation, I'm sure. They just came out ready in the second half. Great defense. And there's what you mentioned, Vern.
And the difference in the emotions of the two benches, palpable.
You got to have everybody buying in.
Jackson has 16 points. The story in this half, though, Dwayne Wade. Marquette fueled by the talents of Dwayne Wade up by 10 with 3:56 remaining in this ball game. The number 3 seed leading the 2nd seed by double figures.
Vern, it's all about getting good shots, quality shots quickly, and then see what you can do defensively. This looks like that box in one. Let's see. It looks like Diener on Page. A lot of wrinkles that Tom Crean threw at Pitt, and the response wasn't consistent.
There's Knight. Townsend fought through Troutman's screen. And in the corner is Page. Knight with the alley-oop. Up and under Brown.
Did you see Letch just clear everybody out? Well, he got the vendors involved in that one.
3.5 to go.
Diener's very good at handling pressure. In Louisville, you face a lot of people when you play Louisville. He's got a great feel of when to turn it up. He hesitates, blows by, reads doubles.
Shot clock at 15, and they'll be very patient as they have been throughout.
They got to get going right now, though, Vern.
Here's Dwayne Wade, guarded by Brown. Diener tipped. Brown 3-on-2, back touch pass underneath. Troutman got it.
How about that by Knight? Nice little pass to the middle, then Knight organized it left. And right now, right back at it at 6 with plenty of time.
2:45 to go. Here's Merritt. They'll bring it back and settle it down.
Well, the dilemma, Vern, is if you go, you've got to run stuff. I'm convinced. Keep in the rhythm. Otherwise, when you get it back late, you get it swiped, or they double or throw a wrinkle defensively.
2:28 to go. 10 on the shot clock. Marquette leads by 6. Jackson traveled.
And Troutman with the job. Just a little bit of a push through Jackson jarred him into the wall. That's 2 trips now empty. And you give this team and this guy an opportunity, and they seize it.
Page and Knight and Jerron Brown and Troutman and Lett for Pittsburgh. And Donatas Zavatskas has taken a seat among his teammates on the bench. Here's the screen. Brendan Knight. Foul. Got it!
How creative was Knight, Vern? Just utterly amazing with defenders closing, hands flailing, able to control the bounce in the lane as he gets in here. And now you draw the defense as Merritt is sucked right to that basketball. And this one, a little bit of a prayer at the end, but you're just going to get it. You want the chance to get 2, but that's all Brandon Knight.
4th foul on Merritt. And again, Troutman not a terribly effective free throw shooter. 59% for the season.
Well, they are showing a lot of heart to get back in it. Now, you've got to counter that if you're Marquette with some fluid offense now. I think you got to get back to attacking. And Pitt backs it off as well, now that they're right there.
3-point lead, 2 minutes to go.
And Tom Green looks like he's going to get right into the offense. No more delay or running it down.
Page guards Diener. Here's Dwayne Wade, Jerron Brown. Spin move, jumper, in and out. Rebound Troutman. And the Panthers come back. 1:40 to go.
Straight up man. Wade's got to contain Knight. All of a sudden he's become very creative.
Brandon Knight, there's the switch in the jumper, entry pass, beautiful!
How good is he? I mean, he's just creating offense as loaded up in the lane.
A season high 11 assists for Brandon Knight. And Marquette calls timeout.
Well, they don't pack it in, and this young, talented performer in the backcourt has that ability to read things ahead as the load up by Lent. And how about this? Get up there, Donatus. Get in it. Your team is.
Kim Howland on the left, daughter Meredith, who's a student at the University of Pittsburgh, on the right. Joni Crean looking on, a little concerned now, much more so than she was with 3:27 to go. Brandon Knight, 12 points, 11 assists. This has been an 11-1 Pittsburgh run since they trailed 70-59.
What a choreographer. Bob Fosse would be proud, huh? I mean, what a feel for the game. Knight has taken over now. You got to get right into it if you're Marquette.
This is Diener guarded by Page.
A nice double screen for Wade. He gets the curl.
There's Jerron Brown. And a foul. Free throws will be shot.
And that's just great aggressive play by Marquette. Great setup on the bench. They had options to curl. Wade has somebody to find in Merritt.
And Merritt goes to the free throw line for this Marquette team that over the course of a season hit 77%. He is 5 of 7 tonight.
And he's a 78% free throw shooter. Tom's first signee.
One more.
Wonderful how neither team is backed off. And Pitt, at 3:27, looked like they were in deep trouble.
Marquette leads by 3. They did lead by 11. They were up 70-59 with 3:27 to go. And now we've got 66 seconds remaining. Pittsburgh trails by 3. Brandon Knight. Crossover. Underneath, off the glass, and in.
Well, that's one way to beat that matchup zone. Once again, so creative and forceful getting down the lane, and a tough angle on the right kiss.
Now they'll work the clock down. It shows 25 seconds left on the shot clock.
Now keep moving, though, and don't wait too long. 15 seconds, I'd get right into the offense.
Dwayne Wade, brilliant second half. 14 seconds to go.
And they're in it. With plenty of time now for an option or counter.
Diener, the switch, Knight. Back it goes, Wade, jump stop. Off the glass, and in!
That is as good as it gets. Total body control, great selection, and a kiss that could go down in Marquette's memory.
Another look, Dwayne Wade. Marquette. Marquette has gotten a brilliant effort from Dwayne Wade in this half. Now, if you're Pittsburgh, you're looking for a 3 for the tie. Julius Page, 37% for the season. Jerron Brown at 37.5. Brandon Knight, statistically the third option.
Well, you know, if they don't pressure the ball, there's going to be a quick timeout now. Ben Howland wants to get his guys back together.
Time called. 21 seconds to go. 21 seconds to go earlier in this half. Donatas Zavatskas Jr. in a verbal confrontation with Ben Howland on the bench. He is the statistically highest three-point shooter on this team. He remains seated. He hits 44% for the season.
If they opt for it, Page can get a shot off on Diener. They're going slow. It means they're looking for 3 at the end here.
There's Knight.
On the foul.
Fouled hard.
You know what? I love this philosophy, by the way. There's plenty of time. You make the two now. We've chronicled Brandon Knight's difficulty on the free throw line up to 57%. At the end of games, he's a lot tougher.
You know, he has elevated his percentage, though, and for the NCAA tournament and the Big East, he's 16 of 21. Now, he had a meltdown against Villanova when he missed his last 5. This is his first trip to the line tonight. How about that?
Get his time. He's just a tough-minded individual. Now, they stretch the game out. See, that's what I like. You have plenty of time. If he makes this, you're going to give the foul right away. Try for steal, give the foul, let them walk the other way. You've got another opportunity. If he misses and they get it, you've got to know inside there if you're Let or Troutman to give it. Obviously, you prefer Troutman with Let with the 4.
Brandon Knight now 9 of 13 in the tournament. Make it 10 of 14 for a 56% free throw shooter. The inbounds play. Somebody's got to foul him.
It took too long. They had 2 men on the inbounds passer. And who do they give it to? Troutman wants it.
No, timeout Marquette, we're told.
No, they give a foul. They're giving a foul to Troutman, I believe. Let wants the walk. But interestingly enough, 2 men went to play the inbounds passer, Vern. That's what freed up a Merritt on the wing.
And that's the 3rd foul on Troutman. It's going to put Scott Merritt at the line. Again, a very proficient free throw shooter. He's got a couple. And Julius Page is talking some trash to him. One more.
He doesn't hit the rim, and it's all cord.
Townsend and Sanders back on. We documented the free throw story earlier. And Merritt 8 of 10 at the line. Marquette as a team 13 of 18.
How about this guy? Now you're forced for the 3.
Krauser back on.
The best way to get a 3 is inside out or drive, draw everybody, and find. So Page will become very active. You got 2 speed guys in the backcourt to bring it up in Krauser and Knight.
They're warning Tom Crean to get back in the coach's box. And he does. And Donatas Zavatskis, the best 3-point shooter, remains on the bench. Here's Knight. Pulls up, fakes, shoots, off the mark. Foul.
Well, Knight did what he had to. He got him airborne, thought he might get the 3 fouls. But a tough-minded group, this Marquette team. You mentioned the spirit all game long, Vernon. You were right on top of it. Here's the pump. He's, in a sense, I think the disconcerting made him pull the string just a little bit. But did they come up with some magnificent penetrating moves? And now there's still time. This is the big one.
2.3 to go.
Off the dribble, they found people. Wade took over.
Chance. He's got to heave it. Off the mark. Marquette meets Kentucky. With a spot in the Final Four at stake.